Hello, and welcome to Under the Radar, a show where we get to know more about organizations at Fort Hays State University. I'm your host of the week, Tristan Sasse. This week features a resource for students to use on campus, the Writing Center, located at Forsyth Library. I'm joined by our first guest of the day, Gilberto Pereira. How are you doing today, Gilberto?
I'm doing great.
That's
Tristan.
great. Gilberto's from Brazil and a graduate teaching assistant in the English department at FHSU. So to start, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do for the Writing Center?
Okay, yeah. As you said, I'm a graduate student there since last year, and I'm a Writing Center consultant, and we help students there, and we're all week, we're open all week long to help them.
What are your hours like during the week for students?
Well, it is from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m., except on Fridays because we close at 2.
What's your main goal with the Writing Center? Do all of the workers have similar roles, or do you have designated roles for different people?
We are all consultants, and the GTAs, there are 4 GTAs, we also work with online students. We have a special program with the nursing students going on. We also do administrative tasks that we work in committees too. So we are assigned different roles like internally, but we all do the same thing for the public.
What have you learned through the Writing Center, or just experiences you've had with students?
Well, I learned a lot also about writing, because in the beginning we have this pressure to know everything, like how am I supposed to know how to teach people to write every kind of genres in writing. And like throughout the process, I saw that I was also learning and researching with the students. I was giving the tools to students to become independent writers. When they leave the Writing Center, they know something, they can do something on their own. So yeah, that's I think I learned the most. Like, we cannot know everything. I'm learning something new every day there.
Is that your favorite part of the Writing Center? Just kind of, if you want to elaborate on how those experiences, someone different each day walks in, you might not necessarily know what you're going to get from them, or?
That's true, because when you're in a class, like I've been teaching for 5 years, so you build this relationship with the students when you're the teacher. But when you're a Writing Center consultant, this is a little bit harder because they come once in a while, and it's good. I really like when the students come back because I know where to start from, I know their needs, I know what we can work on. But this is also great because it gives us the opportunity to see different people and people that need our help. I think it is great.
Is there any way online students can benefit from the Writing Center?
So far, as I told you, we have the partnership, the program going on with the nursing students, and they are doctoral nursing students. It's sort of a pilot program to see how we can test our service online. But Dr. Phil said she wants to expand the program to other majors too. So I think pretty soon we're going to have more people using our online services, so they can be there in their house, schedule online, and also take the online session. And I really like the online sessions. They are as great as the face-to-face ones.
I know you kind of mentioned the nursing program. Do you want to talk a little bit more about that and how the Writing Center is involved with them?
Well, that started last year, and Dr. Field got in touch with the head of the department of the nursing program and saw like how we could help them. Then we saw their needs. We started getting involved with their syllabus, their writing needs, and we were like, trying to get in touch with the professors as well. And we started the sessions last fall, and they were great. All the professors said that all the writings, all the students that had some session with us had improvement. And some people think like online we cannot learn as much as face-to-face. Actually, it proved otherwise. People learned as much.
This kind of ties back to earlier how I mentioned you're from Brazil. How has that really been a challenge to you, just dealing with other international students or Americans in the Writing Center?
That was my first concern. That was like, how can I help domestic students to write in their first language? Like, English is not my first language, but it's their first language, so will they trust me? But then I saw that I did have a lot of experience in writing to share, because from being an outside perspective, I had to go through the process of learning. So I really understand when someone comes to the Writing Center with really basic needs, I can really help them. Oh, I've been through this process, so what I did was this and that, so I teach them this strategy. So it helped me actually to relate to the students, especially those who have more, how can I say, not basic needs. I think everybody has room for improvement in writing. But I think I relate to every kind of student. I think it's an asset at the end of the day.
When you were in Brazil, have you always focused around writing? Has that always been kind of your specialty, or?
Well, I've been always teaching languages. I always loved language. I used to teach French for intermediate student, Portuguese as a second language, and English as a second language. So teaching languages in general, all the skills, listening, speaking, writing, and reading were all my specialties. By now, I really like writing because this is something that we do not really teach students, at least not in Brazil, very well. And coming here, I see how writing is important. So now I want to research, and if I do my PhD, I want to research how international students learn writing here in the USA.
That's awesome. Is there anything else you'd like to add about the Writing Center for the viewers out there that you think we missed?
Well, I think sometimes people have a negative view of the Writing Center, like you're sent to the Writing Center because you don't know how to write. And the experience I've had there, like we had people who are great writers, but they just need somebody to read through the paper, to ask questions, to clarify ideas, just to see if their point makes sense. You know, just to have somebody informally, without pressure, without judgment, without grading their paper, just looking at their paper, so they're more confident when they leave the Writing Center, before turning in their paper, before applying for a job, or any other writing needs they have. Well, so come to the Writing Center. That's what I was going to say.
Well, that's all we have time for on this first segment of the about the Writing Center on Under the Radar tonight. Thank you for joining us, Gilberto.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome back. Now we are joined by another graduate student in the English department who also assists in the Writing Center, Judy Sampson. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, thank you.
With Gilberto, we kind of talked about how people have different backgrounds in the Writing Center. Would you like to elaborate on that, or how it benefits having people from all over the globe?
Yeah, absolutely. We have international students and domestic students. We also have people from different majors. We have art majors, business majors, science majors, and that just helps us be able to serve more people on the campus, and it really feeds into our demographic, so it works out really well for us.
What can students expect when they bring in a paper to the Writing Center?
When they bring a paper into the Writing Center, we ask them a few basic questions, like what the assignment actually is asking them for, and then we ask them what they want to focus on today, like what their goal is. And we set that goal from the very beginning. That way we make sure we achieve their goal, and if we get to work on a few other things that maybe they want to throw in there, we can do that as well, but we always try to get their one goal out of the way, one or two goals.
Kind of to add to that, what would a typical writing session feel like? I know you guys aren't there to write a paper for a student, but you're definitely there to help them along the way.
Absolutely, and that really depends on the student's need. We can do everything from brainstorming to help finding a topic to helping to find some scholarly based research articles for them, to just fine-tuning some grammar at the end. Basically, from start to finish, we're your people.
How can students create an appointment?
They do that through the WC online. If you go to the main Tiger page and you put in the Writing Center, you click there, you click Make an Appointment, you click Our WC Online, and you will see all the white spots or spots they can click on. They can choose their consultant, click there, they fill out a few basic questions, and then they're set up and ready.
Do students need to do that, or do you accept walk-ins as well?
We do accept walk-ins, but sometimes we are too busy to assist walk-ins because we're fully scheduled. So of course making an appointment guarantees your spot, and that's so much better when you have all the pressure to get this paper done, and then it would be a disappointment to walk in and not get it. But we do try to serve every walk-in we get.
And when it comes to these appointments, are there certain policies or guidelines students will need to follow, or punishments if they don't arrive for an appointment?
We do have a punishment if you don't arrive, but it's only if you've missed 3. If you've missed 3 without giving us any notice, then you get blacked out, and you're going to have to talk to the Writing Center director before you can make another appointment. But we've only had a couple of issues with that, and it hasn't been a problem.
Are there any events or workshops outside of the typical sessions that students can either enhance their skills at, or things like that?
Absolutely. We ask professors at the beginning of the semester and then again at the middle of the semester if they'd like us to come in and do workshops, and we sometimes go in and do like portfolio workshops, CV workshops, MLA workshops, APA. Really whatever they ask for, we accommodate that. We go into the classroom, we present a presentation, and then we're there to answer questions, and then we recommend that anyone that has more questions set up an appointment with us, and we'd be happy to get them on the right track to starting that paper.
Is it usually just presentations, or are there additional things students can take away from this workshop?
There's definitely more things than that. We give handouts, and we walk at the beginning of the semester. If a professor allows us into their room, we walk them through setting up an account, so it'll be easier for them to make an appointment in the future, and we just walk through that, and then they know what to expect, so they don't have any anxiety when they come into us, is our plan.
Is there anything else you would like to add about the Writing Center that you think we missed?
Prior to working at the Writing Center, I didn't really understand what the Writing Center was, and so my goal is to try to help people understand more about the Writing Center, and I'm doing that through outreach, through the Facebook page, t-shirts and things like that. And we kind of came up with a slogan: it's not because you can't write, it's because you do. So we just want everyone to know writing is a process for everyone, and we're just here to help you through that process.
Since finals are coming up, will the Writing Center be open next week?
We are not open during finals week because the schedule for the consultants gets too crazy with the scheduling looking different for the finals. So we are not open on finals week, unfortunately.
And since this kind of ties back to earlier how you mentioned the different backgrounds students have, there's multiple graduate teaching assistants, but there's also just regular students, right, that work there?
That's correct. We have students from freshmen all the way up to graduate students. We have profiles online at the Writing Center, and you can kind of see like who you're going to meet with if you want a kind of a picture of them. Kind of tells their hobbies, kind of tells what they like to write about and what their major is. So if you're looking for like kind of a place to plug in, you can kind of stalk us there and figure out where you'd like to go.
Do most people still have similar backgrounds that work there? I mean, as like English majors, or?
We have English majors, art majors, science majors, business majors, geosciences. It's a wide variety.
It'd be really nice to just realize when you're going there, not necessarily everyone has the same focus and can understand the different backgrounds people are coming from.
Absolutely.
But that's about all we have time for today. On this edition of Under the Radar, once again, I would like to thank the FHSU Writing Center. And this is also our last episode of the semester of Under the Radar. But we hope we've brought a few more things at FHSU to Under the Radar for you. Good night.